Find the limit using the table shown below. Be sure to fill out the table and round all numbers to 3 decimal places. All right, so we are going to attempt to calculate this limit. We're going to do so using the calculator so we can plug in each of these x values into our function f of x and see what the y values are approaching. Now, as we type that into the calculator, make sure you understand that a long division bar, like this, what it inherently means is that there are parentheses around the numerator and denominator. So when we type this into the calculator, it's going to look like x minus 10 in parentheses divided by, and then you have a square root usually with an open parentheses, then x, and then another square root with an open parentheses, and then a 10. Then you have closed parentheses twice over here because one closes the square root, the other one closes the denominator. That's what it will look like when we put it into the calculator. So let's try it out. We're going to put that in y equals and just clear anything you have already. So x minus 10 divided by the square root of x minus the square root of 10. And there we have it. Now just make sure your table settings are right. You want your independent to ask, your dependent to auto. Go on into your table. Any values you don't need that are already there, just delete those. And as you type in values for x, the corresponding y values will show up. So this says to 3 decimals, so 6.309. Tell you what, I'm going to switch off. So 6.309. When I put in 9.99, we get 6.323. 9.999 comes out to 6.324. Now, it might not look like it's actually approaching anything because you might be thinking to yourself that you have to approach some sort of an integer for there to be a limit. But that's not necessarily the case. Like, you can approach a decimal value just as easily. And I think that's what's happening here. So we're getting closer and closer to the value 6.324 on this side. So that's from the left hand. Let's see what happens on the right hand side of this limit. So if I switch over and I start putting in 10.1, that's 6.340. And then 10.01 gives me 6.326. And 10.001, that is 6.325. Oops. 6.325. So as we approach from the right here, we're going to 6.325, which is really close to this one. So I think it's probably safe to say that this limit is approaching 6.325. And the reason I'm choosing 6.325 over 6.324 is because since they don't agree with one another, I'm taking the average of them. So 6.324 plus 6.325 and then divide by 2. And that gives me 3.245. And when you round that, it's 6.325. So that's the only reason I chose that one instead. So that should get you the correct answer.